So, you have opinions on America, and whether they're good or bad, they're at least in some part due to stereotypes.
Absolutely
wrong.
But are these stereotypes accurate or even remotely true? How's it going, everyone? Jack here. Now, you see, the problem with stereotypes is some of them are just plain old made up.
Sometimes they're wrong.
But some, well, they exist for a reason. So I want to talk to you about my favourite American stereotypes that are real. Let's start with what's one of my favourite things about America and something that I truly miss. And that is, of course, that classic American personality and attitude, where they are generally considered optimistic, overly confident, loud, and uncomfortably open about themselves. This is especially so when compared to their British counterparts, who are usually more reserved, quiet, and self-deprecating.
I can't believe I've been so stupid.
Yeah, that is unusual, because usually I'm the stupid one.
Well, I'm not over-furnished in the brain department.
That is, of course, unless you're at a football match, and then that's a completely different matter. This is also the same reason why you can usually pick the American out of any room of random people.
Who the hell are you?
But why is this? And what has led to it becoming something that Americans are known for? Well, there's clearly not going to be one source for this, and I'm sure it could be heavily debated. But I'm going to leave that to you lot in the comments while I cover a few of them. America places a really high importance on personal expression, belief in oneself, and open communication. This means they don't view it as a negative to share their experiences, and this results in a much more vocal expression of their thoughts, feelings, and opinions.
Pizza! We like pizza! Get out!
As a result, Americans are much more willing to broach subjects with individuals that they just met that people from other cultures just wouldn't dare bring up.
Tonight's the first time I'm taking my deaf brother out since our mom died.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Now, I think this makes them seem more approachable and friendly. And I really like that strangers are willing to approach you and participate in conversation, especially in places like bars. Now, part of the reason people might feel comfortable doing this may just be down to confidence. Americans for a long time have been considered a confident bunch of people. This may come from their belief in individualism, a focus on individual achievements, and that old classic, the American dream, where if you want to work hard, you can achieve anything you want.
Just do it!
This solidifies the idea in their society that individuals can shape their own destiny and overcome challenges. And what does this do? Well, it results in that can-do attitude. However, a kind of side effect to this is a perceived assertiveness, especially in communication. And this can be especially prevalent in conversations with non-Americans, where it can come across as loud and pushy, where it may otherwise have gone unnoticed. Also, I have no idea why Americans generally seem to have a higher volume, and it's something that I picked up and adopted while I was there, and I am constantly getting slated for it.
Why are you yelling at me?
Everything's bigger in the USA, or at least that's what everyone says. No, really, whenever anyone visits the US, they always mention it. And there's a reason they do. Because it's real. So this pervades into many aspects of American life, and by far my favourite is refills. If you consider that bigger. Don't despair though if you don't consider that a legitimate one. I can already hear you typing away in the comments, because the drinks themselves are also bigger. For example, a large drink at McDonald's can come in at 32 ounces. That's almost a litre. Now you compare this to McDonald's in the UK, where a large is only 17 ounces. That's only half a litre. I feel so bad saying half a litre, like any person really needs to be drinking half a litre of soda at any one time. And what are you having with your drink? Well, probably some food. And the first thing you're going to notice when it comes out is that the portions are huge, especially by European standards. Now there's a couple of reasons you've received this epic feast. To start with, the US is a value economy where people usually prioritize cheapness and quantity. And while now pretty much everything is made in China, when it comes to food, people still expect that same value for money. Yeah, it's probably true that people eat more in a single meal, but this also comes at a time of rising costs. So people expect to have enough left over to take home with them. You can pretty much take these same principles and apply them to any of the oversized things you see in the US. US homes are a prime example of this, as in the UK people are always so jealous of the size of US homes, especially compared to the small properties we have here. But everything isn't as it seems. as for the most part, the houses are made out of wood or other cheap materials that need replacing more often. Compare that to the solid stone or brick buildings in Europe, and all of a sudden it makes a lot more sense how the homes in the US can be as big as Hollywood makes them out to be while maintaining that coveted low price point. Nothing personifies America more than the open road, and when it comes to roads, America definitely does them bigger. As not only do the individual lanes need to be bigger to accommodate some truly huge vehicles, I'm looking at you full cab pickup trucks and Humvees, but the amount of lanes is truly staggering. When you look at large motorways in the UK, sometimes it may stretch to be 5 lanes either side, which seems pretty big. However, in the US, where public transportation can be limited, but you still need to get the population to work to keep that economic machine ticking over, things can reach a truly epic scale. Especially when you're approaching major cities, highways can reach up to 10 lanes per side and appear as huge strips of concrete crossing the country. When it comes to the patriotic nature of the US, I feel that social media has really popularized this one, but to a point that where people haven't visited the US, they may think that it's being played up or that it's fake. And I'm here to tell you that you can believe pretty much everything you've seen when it comes to Americans supporting their country. It's completely normal in the US to be driving along and see a store, a government building, sporting event, or even people's homes just displaying an American flag. This goes even further when involving the population or the community, regardless of size. Everything from a high school football game up to the Super Bowl, they will always have a reciting of the national anthem. It's not only that they do it, but it's that it's an expectation. And when you talk to people living in the US about what America means to them, you usually get some common answers, from freedom to opportunity to that golden classic of America is number one. And it's this unwavering belief in themselves and their country that is built upon from such a young age. This also extends to certain parts of the government, in particular the military, because God does America love its military. It's more than just the guns, because we know the US loves those, but it serves as a pillar of their belief system. It's also important to remember that the US has a lot of cultural differences, and if you're truly trying to understand the wonderfully weird place that it is, then I think this next video would be perfect for you.